Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. So I've prepared a slide that I would want to share. So let me see if I'm able to, okay, yeah, I'm able to share that. So let me see this. Okay. Okay. Because I hope my slide is visible. Hello, Tom?
Perfect. Everything's perfect.
Okay, sure. Yeah. My name is Emmanuel Addo, and I'm from Ghana. I'm also the president of the Ghana Stuttering Association, and I'm currently a PhD student studying under the advisorship of Professor Rodney Gabel at Binghamton University. And my research interest is in it includes how persons who stutter navigate support groups, and also the impact of stuttering across the lifespan. So this, and I'm very happy to be given this opportunity again to talk about what I'm doing in Africa with my colleagues, my friends who stutter all across Africa. And today we'll be looking at barriers that persons who stutter in Africa encounter in getting access to online support groups that we organize. So this is the outline of my presentation today. We'll be looking at like a brief history of the African support group, where we call the WSN African Connections. Then I'll also be talking about a quick survey that I organized somewhere last month to be able to understand exactly the dynamics of the group and to know how best I can work to increase our growth and also to increase the support that we are able to offer to persons who join us in our meetings. The history. Okay, so somewhere in 2021, I was then the president of the Ghana Stuttering Association, but then I still had a lot of inhibitions. I was avoiding like meeting people for the first time and all that. Then I was contacted by Tricia, who happens to be the vice chair of the World Stuttering Network, about starting a support group here in Africa, because in Africa, speech and language therapy services are quite new, and then we have few numbers of SLPs around, and then there are even still some countries in Africa without support groups. So when she spoke to me about it, initially I was nervous, because I know that would mean I have to now move outside Ghana and now speak to a larger group. And I was a bit, I gave some excuses, but then she encouraged me, and then we started it off. So when we started, I co-hosted with her, and then she led me, and then we started off from September through to December. And then some of the recruitment strategies we use, we contacted some national support group leaders, and then we told them what we're about, and that we wanted to create a space where persons who stutter within their organizations, and those even not affiliated to them, if they could share our links so that we can get more people involved, so that we come together as Africans to support each other and to share ideas and to educate ourselves about what stuttering is and how we can navigate the challenges that come with it. And we also use social media a lot. We share links through social media, and then we also encourage people who join us to share the links among their friends so that we get everybody supported. Currently, our monthly meetings, I host it with like a beautiful lady from Kenya. She's called Wendy Davis, and she's very hardworking, supportive. She's a really great person, and then she'll be joining us pretty shortly. Our meeting structure, we meet once a month, and then we meet somewhere between 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on how interesting the meeting is. And sometimes we even go beyond 2 hours, because there are sometimes the meeting gets very interesting, the activities, so we tend to keep long, but that's fine. And our meeting is structured in, we have part 1 and part 2. In part 1, that's when we introduce ourselves, we catch up with things that are happening in our various countries, getting to know what has happened since our last meeting, if there's been any encounter, how we went around it, difficult moments, wins, vents. We take that opportunity to do all of these things, to just build ourselves together, to encourage each other and to share experiences. Then for the second part of our meetings, we usually have guest speakers, and then we've been blessed over the years since we started to have some great speakers. Among them is Anita Blom. She has been with us, spoken with us. Stephanie Lepsak, she's also graced a meeting to share with us her experiences. Dominique Kennedy, also a US SLP and also a writer. She's also joined us. Cynthia Das Ilo, she's also been with us, shared with us, and encouraged us as an association. And in fact, a lot more people have joined us. So I'm very sorry if you are on this call and your name wasn't mentioned, but then I appreciate all of you, and I want to say a big thank you for sharing your time with us. And with the what informs the work that we do, or what informs the structure or the content of our meetings, we use Yalom's principles. And then some examples are hope. We make sure we instill hope in our members by sharing our own stories. So if I had like a difficult story, because honestly, I had a very difficult beginning growing up from like a small part of Ghana where I didn't know anything about speech and language therapy. I was always bullied, always mocked, like, and then I grew like I didn't really understand what was happening to me initially. I thought it was even a curse. Like, I didn't know exactly what stuttering was. So I grew up lonely as an introvert, I would say I wasn't living the life. So, but then I've now come this far. So in our meetings, we have others like myself who share our experiences, our what we've been through, with other young ones coming up, and they're encouraged to also do more and to hold on. We impart informations, we educate ourselves with the guest speakers we bring on board. They also educate us. Some of them are SLPs, some are not SLPs, but then they are within the support group space. And this helps us a lot. Development of socialization techniques, how to introduce oneself, how to go for interviews, how to make impactful communication as a student, as a worker, in church, at the workplace, in your neighborhood. These are things that we consciously bring to bear. Like, we consciously make these informations available to support our members. Now, to talk like a bit about the members we have joining us, or the participants who join our monthly meetings. Now, Africa is quite huge. Africa has about 54 countries, and then out of these 54 countries, 24 of them speak English. about 29 speak French, and then there are some other that speak Portuguese and Spanish. But then with our meetings, since we started, we've had about 8 English-speaking countries joining us. And then we also had the list I have on my right with Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Sierra Leone, Zambia, and Liberia. We've also had people from South Africa join us, and we also have some international participants from the USA, from Portugal, from Brazil, also joining in our meeting. So even though it's an African support meeting, we also have friends from outside Africa who also join us, share with us, and we connect together. Now, with this number of countries covered so far, with 8 countries covered so far, it's our goal to expand, because we know we have the potential to reach about 24 English-speaking countries for now, because I speak English. But then the plan is, if we want to open this up to the whole of Africa, then we would need multilinguals, or people who could speak these other languages like French, Portuguese, so that we can reach others in Africa. So we want to expand. And also, with a low number of SLPs in Africa, there are some countries in Africa that do not have a speech and language pathologist or therapist. So what that means is that the only hope they have is for the self-help groups, like what we are doing in Africa. So it's our goal to be able to expand, to be able to reach all these people. But then as we plan to expand to reach others, we need to evaluate ourselves. There's this need for us to evaluate ourselves, to see what we are doing now, and to see if there is what motivates our people to participate, and then if they have any barriers to participating in an online event. As a result, I designed a questionnaire, a simple one. This is not like a study, but I just did something simple to help me to understand exactly what is happening, so that going forward we can expand to be able to reach others based on the voices of the people. So this is what we had with the questionnaire. I had about 15 responses from across the 8 different countries that we've seen in the previous slide. And out of the respondents, we have majority of them were between the ages of 21 to 30. And this reflects in the concerns that we all share, and also the help that we give, in that we talk more about having access to education, work, how to socialize, relationship issues. So it's very important for us to know the age group that majority of our participants are within, to help us to move forward and to plan how we can best support their needs. Then how they heard about us, majority of them, like, I think, okay, so it's an equal number from social media, Facebook, and also the leaders of their associations shared our links on their platform. And interestingly, you realize that none of our participants was referred by speech and language pathologists. That could be because those who joined us have not attended, they don't even know any SLP, or the SLPs do not refer persons who started to support groups. It could be that they don't know about us, or they've not heard about us, or they even do not know the benefits of support groups. But I know there has been extensive research on the benefits of support groups, and we know it helps. So going forward, it means that we as an association or as a support group will have to reach out to SLPs, actively do that, and let them know we exist, so that they could refer their clients to us, so that we could also help with their cognitive and then their emotional well-beings. Because research has shown that joining self-help groups benefit people. They gain hope, confidence, they learn a lot, they're able to support each other in a lot of other ways. Here I wanted to find out whether people who attend our meetings return, because if you attend a meeting and then you don't like something that happened, or you don't have you don't gain any benefit, there's a high possibility you wouldn't come back, right? So what we found out was that a high number of them reported that they've attended our meetings more than 5 times, which I think is very encouraging. And then it motivates us to carry on with the works that we are doing. But then I believe we still have more work to do, but this encourages us. Here we asked for the participants to rate their experience from 0 to 10. And then from what we see here, the majority of them rated us above 80%, which I think means we are doing something, but then we still have room to improve, because there are some who rated as low. But unfortunately, with this questionnaire, I didn't ask them to tell us why they rated us low. But then going forward, this is something I also want to explore more, to ask them what do they think we can do to improve ourselves or to improve their experiences. So there's still a gap there that we need to fill. We asked if the participants who join us, if they've ever shared our links with others. Majority of them said no. So they join the meetings, but then they do not share the links, because this is one of the strategies that we wanted to bank our hopes on, that when people join us, we have a snowballing effect where they will also invite others who start them. But then majority of them were like no. But then what we are quite encouraged, because we have about 38.5% of respondents saying yes, they share the link. So this tells us we still have a lot of work to do if we want to improve access of support to a lot more of Africans. Here we're asking them, wanted to know about what motivated them to join us for the first time. Because I know to joining support groups, a lot of people have lots of ideas. Some report that when they're in the midst of others who started like themselves, they started more, they get more anxious and all that. So we wanted to find out what exactly motivated them to click on a link when they saw the link to join a meeting. Majority of them said they wanted help for themselves. And this was also my story. The first time I joined the Ghana Stammering Association, I joined because I was looking for help for myself. But the subsequent meetings, my motivation changed. It changed to trying to help others, because I went in there thinking my situation was the worst of all. I went in there thinking I was no good. I can't talk. I can't communicate. Nobody understands what I want to say. But then after my first meeting, second meeting, my motivation now changed, and I felt like, okay, I'm joining this support group from now onwards to support others. So the second question was, what motivated them to join for the second time? And majority said they wanted more support. So yeah, my expectation was that, okay, we'll have quite a number saying they want to help others. So that tells us that probably they've lacked support for long, because in Africa, as I said earlier on, the number of SLPs is very low. Our culture also, I wouldn't say it encourages bullying, but then bullying is rife. They tease you even at home. You are teased in school. You are teased at the workplace. You are bullied, and all that. So I was expecting that, okay, as I've come for the second time, but then wanting more support means that it could mean that they lacked support for a very long time. So they need more of that, which tells me that we have a lot more work to do. And as I'm speaking, if you are here and you are a support group leader, you are SLP, and you want to impact the lives of persons who stutter in Africa, please, you can email us, because we'd really, really want a lot more help in reaching out to our friends who stutter in Africa.